I'm Senator Connie Leyva, and I'm so proud to have authored and ultimately had the governor sign into law SB 22. So a few years ago, we introduced legislation to end the statute of limitations on rape. That was signed into law by then Governor Brown. And so the next logical step for us was testing rape kits. Candidly, I had no idea that we had such a backlog, and it was shocking to me to find out that a woman has this horrible crime perpetrated on her body, men too, but primarily women, and then they do this rape kit that takes about 5 hours, combing through their body, and then it sits on a shelf, and no one ever looks at it, and the victim thinks that someone is pursuing the criminal who committed this crime, and they're not. So when we found out that it happened, I just thought this is absolutely something that we have to work on, and we have to make sure we make it a priority, because we know that DNA catches the bad guys and exonerates the good guys. So I think the backlog happened because it just hasn't been made a priority. And what we've heard is, well, we don't have the funding, it's so expensive, we've got to test DNA on murder cases. Of course, we understand all of that, but to me, by not testing rape kits, it's just saying to women that we don't value you, or what happened to you, we're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. Well, you may not have been killed, you may not have died, but if you are a victim of rape, your life is forever changed, and forever changed in a bad way. And for you to go from being a victim to a survivor, that kit needs to be tested so that way we can try and find the perpetrator. So I think it's really just a matter of priority, and I feel like we live in a new time now with the Me Too movement and whatnot, where we're starting to take women a little bit more seriously. I think Governor Newsom signing this law is evidence of that. So I think that California and the United States has to be a leader. In many ways we are around the globe, but we really have to set the tone and be a leader when it comes to women's rights and women's issues, because when we look across the globe, we still see that women are really treated like second-class citizens. And until we take rape seriously, I do think we live in somewhat of a rape culture, that we don't think it's a really big deal when that happens to a woman. When I ran for office, I didn't expect to be involved in so many women's rights issues, because I grew up in a house where I had a very supportive father and I have a very supportive husband. And then when I got here to the legislature, realizing that women's rights were under attack every day. So I just feel really honored that I get to be someone who helps to move the ball forward for women and make sure women are treated equally and fairly.